Hi, welcome to Ketchup Talks. This is Shashi Lavanya, and our guest for today is Ritviz. We spoke to him about his journey so far, his debut album, creating music for Miss Marvel, and here's what he has to say. So, hi, how are you? Welcome to Ketchup
Hello.
Talks. How do you feel like your latest album's coming out? How does that feel right now?
Honestly, it's very overwhelming right now just to see the response and everything. It's been a good while also since I last released music. So yeah, it's just very overwhelming and just like a humbling experience right now. Just because, especially with this album, just also being my debut, debut album and everything. The first time with all of this, so it's just like yeah.
Right. Okay, super. So, three of your tracks were used in Miss Marvel. What was that experience like?
So epic, yeah. That was quite a flex to say that, your boys made it to the MCU. But I think more than that, I think it's just the South Asian representation. Honestly, like that, like was it was really great to be part of that, and the soundtrack was brilliant. So just kudos to Sana from Marvel, just doing the good stuff. Brown rap.
Was Avegi made specially for the show?
Yeah.
How do you make sure that each of your tracks says something different?
I think like for me, the way I look at my music is just like every song for me is like this block in my life where I was like, oh, this is what I was going through. This is that time. This is like, it's a phase for me. Every song is basically like that, you know. So and like all together, like every track is a reflection of what I'm going through. Every song obviously has different stories to tell, and I think that context might not be out there for the world, but obviously my family, my friends know that. And because music is up for interpretation, it's art, that like the way people, perceive it is always going to be different. But that's also why it's so interesting, right? Because like the way I'm expressing myself in the music, I feel like the emotion is translated and people will connect on that level, but then they might just form their own stories with it. They might connect with it much differently than the way why I put it across, So it's yeah. I don't know. I went away from your question, but I hope that answers it.
I actually also was so interested with a lot of your songs have like with Rose or Geet or with Jeet or with Ud Gaye. Your background score is a little similar. So is that going to be a signature going forward too?
I mean, I don't think they're similar in a way where I think maybe what the understanding is that it's a sound, right? I will sound like me, like it is going to be something. My voice is like that. The way I format my music, the way it naturally comes to me is going to sound like a, and as it should, I feel, so I think especially with this album, I think there has been some sort of an evolution also with my sound, and it is interesting. It is going to be interesting the next couple of months also to just have everybody digest this, and let's see. I hope everybody enjoys it. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little more about your debut album?
Yeah, Mimmi is the album. Ajna is the first single. Right. And so basically I can tell you a little bit about Mimmi. So Mimmi is my mom's nickname. Okay. So and it's dedicated to her, this album. I wrote this album with her, and basically it was all these conversations that we were having earlier this year, and that sort of like resulted in these songs. There's a collection of songs that were basically conversations with my mother, okay. And to give you like a brief summary of the album, it's basically like a parallel between my adult life and my childhood self, right? And the love that I received as a kid, right, which is so unconditional in nature from my folks, right, versus the love that I'm experiencing as an adult, which is so conditional, right? And like in adult relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, everything, like, I'm trying to like just really find what I had as a child, and like that struggle, that quest is what this album is.
There's a favorite track of yours from this album?
The title track would be a favorite for me because Ma joins me on the song,
Wow.
So yeah, so that's a close one. I mean, the entire album is, but that specifically is a very important one. Yeah.
Your music is quite a mood for a lot of us. What do you listen to when you're not feeling the best?
This is gonna sound a little strange. I don't listen to a lot of music. Like it's crazy. I think the only time if I'm ever found in the gym, then I will like have some hip hop playing for me. But I don't consume a lot of music.
Right.
Yeah, I consume a lot of like visual content like TV shows and stuff. Like I'm a big movie buff, so like a lot of the visual side of things I do find myself like following, but I don't listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
A lot of us have a song that's stuck in our mind. Like I remember like listening to Rose all the time for a while. Do you
Yeah.
have that too? Like when a song is just stuck in your mind and it doesn't seem to get out?
Yeah. I mean, there is. So, like I said, I don't, I don't really have. I do like. I think the way I'm consuming music is also like the way all of us are like. In terms of it's really like okay, this is the stuff that is going on, this top 40, and like this is. I think a lot of my music consumption really happened in my formative years when I was like I think growing up, like I would listen to a lot of like all of us, like we would all listen to the Limp Bizkit, Linkin Parks, like that was like the growing up thing for me. Today, I really don't really have like a go-to song for you because, like I said, I'm not really consuming
Yeah.
music that way. But I'm a big A.R. Rahman fan, so I'm constantly listening to him, and like that's always on loop. That's one thing at home that's always playing. Yeah.
You've now performed in different places across the globe. How do you feel and what has your experience so far been like?
Um, I think it's always interesting to play to a new set of people, irrespective of the place. It could be any place, even in the country. When I recently played, I think we played Kanpur for the first time, and that was really interesting. I think in general, any place that like hasn't like seen me live or like watched me perform is automatically an interesting thing. So that applies globally also. Wherever we've played, like it's always been like a yeah, I think that just that the first time is always going to be very like
Right.
so yeah, it's just I think we this earlier this year when we played London, that was really exciting.
You've been out for quite a few years. How do you feel like just from the start of your first single to where you've reached so far? Like that must be quite a journey.
It's been a really exciting, thrilling journey so far. But also I think what's been really like epic is just the fact that I've been around my family and like friends who've like been there since day one. So it's always sort of not like I think my it's been a great journey to look. So I'm also sort of like seeing what is happening online in a way where I'm still like in seventh standard. You know what I mean? Like I'm still like with my friends and family. I'm still like we're still in 2011. While all of what is happening out there with the music, it's great to watch. I feel like a third person. So yeah.
Some of your tracks like Rose were a lot of them were released during the pandemic. Was it hard
Yeah.
to make music during the lockdown?
Honestly, no, because I think and a lot of creatives would I think agree with me on this, where like I think like I especially have myself locked in the room anyway, So it honestly, and like I hope that doesn't come out the wrong way. I obviously had the privilege to that be okay in that in the 2 years, but like I in a way pandemic sort of like brought that pause in all of our lives, right? And before the pandemic we were touring like crazy, and it was sort of hindering the music making process because I was just not getting enough time. So when this stop happened, it was just like this big pause and you can't do anything about it, and I think that sort of really helped me like reflect in a way, and I was just like, okay, cool. It felt like I was in 11th standard again, trying to like and just the 2 years have honestly been like such a like I've reflected so much in the last 2 years, and I think the music also that's coming out now is really just the result of the last 2 years. And now that we hopefully like go back into shows and stuff, will be very exciting to perform all this music,
I'm
so I
sure.
think, yeah. So I think in a way, I think the last 2 years COVID has also taught me that we don't have things in control, and what we can maybe do is make the best of what is going on, but also this pause is so important. Like we're just constantly at it, we don't realize that like that break is, we don't, that is does we don't value it as much. At least I didn't. So that thing has taught me a lot. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. It was very nice to have a chat with you.
Thank you.